2, 1. We are live, which means it's time for me to once again say out the following. You are listening to Let's Go, the weekly anime podcast about weekly anime from Dynamite in the Brain and Secret of the Sailor Madness. So come along and hang with the Let's Go gang. It's Dwayne.
Dwayne, your mic's off.
Oh no, we're into this situation again, are we? It's Dwayne. It's still Dwayne.
Yep.
Yeah, it's still me now. Why did my mic turn off?
We can
here?
hear you
Hello?
now. We can hear you now.
Okay, I am here
Right.
in spirit, if not voice.
And it's Niall.
Yeah. How are you? I'm here
And
as
once
well.
more, it's me, Brian. Right. On this episode, we are covering anime that aired the week of the 14th to the 20th of August, 2022, with the exception of Bastards, Heavy Metal Dark Fantasy, Episode 8, The Progenitor, as we meet Diamond, who is totally based on the singer King Diamond. He's a vampire. He wants you to bring in virgins. He's going to pay some werewolves to do it. And if they fail, he'll suck their blood as well.
I thought it was going to be boring because, like, you'd think like a lot of him just talking would be very boring. When he's got a mouthful of, well, I guess virgin, while he's talking, it's very funny, so it works quite well.
It's a good sport that Takahiro Kiyase does. I'm not even sure. I'm not even sure your man who does Zoro in One Piece. Does
does the holding a sword in his mouth?
Out for the marbles.
Yeah,
or anything like that.
Uh,
well, they never seem to get around to the verses because there's always like, his man Godo there, but then Godo, you failed me for the last time. He sucks his blood instead. I thought, oh, that's the end of him. But you do, I see him later on, like when he's going out to kick Dark Schneider's arse. It's like, oh, he just does him all the time. He's like this fucking little Smithers dude who always gets it.
That guy used to be like really, like a really rotund man, but he's sucked out all of the blood of him to the point where he's actually quite a skinny little weaselly dude.
But before we get back to that, we've checked in on a guy with an eye patch who is sniffing out virgins, and this is where we discover that he has werewolves doing this for him. And of course, wouldn't you know it, about half our cast of virgins, and so eventually it's going to find Yoko, as he does here. But we're in another situation where Lucian has fallen asleep, and Dark Schneider has taken over his body while he's asleep. Which means this time he's got even more powerful and just starts casting spells and venoms the werewolf into submission.
I mean, that part's all very, for lack of a better term, sensible. But Lucian randomly appearing on Yoko in the middle while she takes a midnight bath, basically in a lake, is kind of like that's a big coincidence, isn't it? It feels a bit railroady, DM. I don't know.
What you want? They did all search parties, so
they were looking for him, but they didn't find him by looking for him. They found him by her getting naked and saucy situations. I guess that is how this universe works. So.
Yeah, you gotta bait the trap. You gotta create a sexy situation here for Dark Schneider, who would be like subconsciously drawn to, and it worked.
And she's bathing in a very 80s fantasy drawing style pose where you can't actually see anything. Arms carefully covering everything up. When he's beating the werewolf up, he's also breaking the fourth wall, something hideous about him wasting screen time attacking them at this point.
You're not a big deal. You're really minor leagues. We need to get to the main villain now. Yeah.
So they get to the...
That's okay, he's right here.
They get to the main villain, and then so do the other two virgins. They catch up in order to beat him up. Meanwhile, Yoko's like, who are these two women? Why are they here to help Dark Schneider out? This is after Lucian gets captured because he wakes up. So the pair
in a
of them
cage,
Yes.
The two wizard ladies did get captured on purpose because it's like, well, we pretended to be in manacles, but we can break out of those because we're super badass warrior wizards, so that's not a really problem. But we're gonna beat you up, vampire. Vampire says, no, I'm a vampire, and they're like, well, wait till our boyfriend Dark Schneider gets here. You'll be in big trouble.
Yeah, where is he? Is he in that cage by any chance inside that boy? Because if he is, you're fucked.
And that's our cliffhanger, isn't it? It's like, what are they going to do?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Got me fun thinking about this one. Because the werewolf dudes, he gets dispatched in short order. He mentions like, no, I'm a martial artist, don't you know? I know kung fu. What's got me thinking then of
Darkstalkers?
amongst other things, what was the origin in some of these Japanese media of the kung fu werewolf? Because you got Jonathan Tailbane, as you said, in Darkstalkers. You got this dude here. You've got what's your man's name in Cypher Police in One Piece? He's like a fucking cartoon, kind of like a Tex Avery wolf. He also knows kung fu.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sure there's more out there.
There is there's a kind of a weird correlation between vampires and werewolves already, and you got like hopping vampires would show up in the kung fu movies. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a werewolf that showed up in a kung fu movie at some stage.
Probably a kung fu film, yeah.
Yeah, and his point here is very close. Is very similar to the point the Cypher Pol agents make. Because I think that's in the Cypher Pols where it's revealed that if you train yourself as a normal human, then that is exponentially more powerful when you turn into the beast form. Which is what he says.
Like when She-Hulk works out as a human rather than as She-Hulk kind of thing. Yeah.
Because that's in the slot. That's when she gets the massive muscles before she goes up against Champion. So that all plays out. But this episode, I think this one felt like the one which zipped along the most out of the episodes so far. I quite enjoyed it. Also helped that the performance of Diamond is very much over the top. And
yes, he's pretty great.
He's killing a lot of like a fun roles these days now. Fun. Okay, we gotta get a vampire, so we gotta get him in. He's played a lot of vampires before, but this and Uncle from Another World is just like, I'm gonna fucking go bananas on this one. It's just don't need to be so seriously. If I want to be seriously, I got Dragon Quest for that.
Yeah.
Then we got Fuuto PI episode 3, Beware of T, which is the T Junction apparently, and Mass Defender. This is the final part of this story.
It only occurred to me in this episode that it was like the T Junction witch was the actual. I was just like, oh, that's why it's called that. Okay, I thought that was a mystery, but it's just should be obvious. Translation.
Don't drive straight. You won't go anywhere. You just go to the wall.
And which you guys, if you've never seen Kamen Rider Double before, get to learn about all Kamen Rider Double superpowers.
Cool. Is like the first form is it like Jean-Claude Van Damme where you can only just do spin kicks with the right leg? I think that seems to be the power of that one.
Yeah, I think Joker's power might just be kicking. Cyclones is Cyclones. Luna is stretching itself. What was the blue one called? Like
Trigger.
Yeah,
gets a gun.
There's the heat and the metal one we briefly see after the main part of the story wraps up. I think those are the main ones. I'm sure there was some more, but those are the iconic halves.
It feels like kicking should just be a standard Kamen Rider thing. It's like you don't need anything. Like everyone kicks, it's fine.
But most don't split themselves in two as part of the kick.
Okay, fair enough. That's true. Yeah. He does get that sweet drop kick where he does split in two. Yeah.
Otherwise, yes, it's got chase after Road. Road nips escapes via the other dimension. So they follow him in, chase him in. Road builds himself a new road to get away, but they switch forms and leap over the gap before the memory break is the kick. So they kick him back into the real world where the police show up to arrest him. And also,
it's pretty sweet because like obviously he grows a set of wheels to fight with, but it's like I'm going to get a road to get away from a superhero very specifically known to ride around on a motorbike and do motorcycle stunts. Sorry, bud.
He momentarily got away. I forgot.
If he was a boat-based guy, he would have been better off.
I forgot all about the cop who's constantly rubbing his back with his back.
What did he do to his back to throw it out?
It was before the original series because he's like that right from the first episode that you meet him in.
Okay.
I'm kind of adopting the same sort of pose as the like Edo era policeman with the little GT, little like truncheon they have.
Yeah.
It's like while my hand is there, I should do something more productive.
But then they're like, okay, this guy's answered for his sins, but there's one more person who must answer for their sins, and you think it's going to be the thief character, but
Pokemon.
it's not. It's the guy who hired them to find her in the first place.
Client.
Because it turns out he is the Mushroom Dauphant.
Yeah. Don't fucking put your photos on social media. You know, we knew you were actually here 2 years ago visiting people. And your family's farm. You know, it's not doing great, but it's not doing terribly either.
So this would have lined up to when you got your fix of turning into a mushroom-based monster, and once you turn mushroom-based monster, it's difficult to quit, as we all know. Yeah.
So
I've been once kids.
Yeah, he made a deal with the Yakuza because they were like, he was the only one who knew that she'd be at the fountain. So how did the Yakuza know? It could only have been him who told them. I like the way the pair of them have got two different ways of getting to the same conclusion.
Yeah, they're like why they're two halves of the same detective, as your man keeps saying. It's like their methodology is different. Like he beats the streets and investigates and talks to people, whereas it's like I'm a research. Yeah. I'm gonna just do research.
It's just how he gets him off him and say, "Come on, man! I wanted your love to be real. Why did you do it? I wanted to have a happy ending. I wanted you to love this city, man. But you came here to destroy it. I thought we were bros." Being like a bit too much of a good cop, you know, to the point where he's shedding tears over this.
Yeah, it's not that you're a criminal who wants to turn into a monster. It's that you disappointed him. Oh.
I'll tell you what. I'll go quietly.
So yeah, the cops take him away, and then Takime turns herself in for all the robbing she'd been doing. They go through like
because obviously it was proved she didn't. Did she even eat anyone? I'm not 100% sure if she did. It was a body that was already murdered. If
she'd just been using Rhodes portals to use the shadow
to hop around
Fuuto
and steal corpses' jewelry and wallets and shit.
And they even explain why she's floating around. It's just like
the perspective thing. I did like that.
7 foot, like it was kind of like looking at kind of like the refraction into water or something. It's just like a little bit.
Apparently
think it is.
The other Fuuto is like
2 meters higher.
A few meters.
2 meters higher.
Yeah, like it's like slightly out of sync in terms of out of place. So it looks like she's walking on air when she's actually walking on a bit of road that is should be lower, ideally, that kind of thing.
It's all smoke and mirrors.
And the other,
especially simple when you think about it.
And the floating bag was just her using a fishhook and line to steal things.
But that was a nice little follow-up then. The fun thing. Oh, here's like this strange in-universe explanation for this in the fun thing. No, let's pull up and sleight of hand does the rest.
And like she's like, oh, I'm gonna turn myself in for my crimes. It's like, will you wait for me, baby? And he's like, I'll see about it, baby. And he's just like, yeah, he's got a type. Says his partner. He's like, he's into the femme fatales, and that really fucks him up.
Yes, because she shows up. She shows up immediately after we catch them fighting another Dauphant, and she's joined the detective office, and she's gonna stay in the same room with Shotaro, and he's having none of it.
As any good assistant would, obviously.
And Philip and Akiko was like, Akiko's like, it's a chance for him to actually get to know somebody who actually likes him. And then Philip points out that, yes, he's attracted to femme fatales, and that's why if he finds himself attracted to somebody, he shuns them because he doesn't want them to die or turn out to be a villain of some kind.
He doesn't want the inherent tragedy that goes with the femme fatale genre. Yeah.
His apartment or his room actually is just all decked out in like knock off like the film noir posters. There's the long goodbye. It's just like something like that there. But it's like they went with the 73 one with Elliot Gould instead, which that's actually a good pick. He didn't just go straight to Bogart.
The obvious one. Yeah. It's quite good. I mean, like you knew she was coming back because she's in the intro and outro, but still, it is a funny bit where it's just like, I'll wait for you, baby. And it's just like, oh, I'm immediately out in parole and working for you. Also, I'm going to live with you. Which he's like, no, that's moving too fast.
And then after the credits, we get the answer to the question: what if she was an amoeba? What would you do then? What if she...
Sure, that's a problem that might come up, I suppose.
Yeah.
I know. Well, these memory teams seem to work like gum through 301. If you eat the road one, you've gone the road man. So,
all the vagueness that implies,
yeah. Should get our own like we're going to get that memory stick working, and because we see Allison that's again about to be mocked up, undoubtedly like ending sequence. There's a little pink transformer belt buckle thing.
Yeah.
So pink is for girls, so naturally it must be hers.
Yeah, I can't remember. Let's have a quick look at what the doubles. Yeah, I'm gonna guess at some point they'll probably get some sort of manga unique memory as well, so they can have a form you've not seen before.
Oh, okay.
That would be my guess. I don't know for sure, but that feels like the sort of thing you'd want to put in this as like, oh, here's something you've not seen them transform into before.
Yeah. Mysterious villains in the Shadow Town also have little kind of transform belt buckle devices too. Some dude rocking the Aurora memory is the saying, Tokime, why did you leave us?
Yeah.
It's got a weird kind of clear Aurora looking man. It's pretty neat. The monster designs are really good. You know, for the little bit you see of the dude's fucking like toadstool monster one, it's horrifying. It's this fucking skull face coming out of like the fucking blooming fungal cap. It's Thank God he's behind bars.
Yeah, I can't remember what the mob characters were in Double. Let me see, because we see them in the opening credits, and I can't remember if those are the same ones or new ones for this, because they definitely look a lot more like versions of the Shocker type skeleton men designs.
Right.
But yeah, I'd have to remind myself. I can't remember if there were any in the original series like that. So yeah,
not that you've seen it, not that you could have seen
no,
it legally.
it's entirely complete impossibility beyond those first two episodes.
Yeah.
I had noticed it on the first time with the ending credits, but the bit I really like in the ending credits is right at the start, where Mick notices that they're about to start to dance, and then puts his back up and then cautiously slinks off as if, what on earth are these humans doing? I don't want to be anywhere near these feet as they start bouncing around. I thought it was a great bit of animation of a cat, of like cats not understanding dance, just knowing that it's dangerous if they're going to be around it. Yeah, a lot of fun, he says, losing his voice worryingly. Maybe I need to do another LFT tomorrow. Right, carry on with Yurei Deco, episode 7, The Inhuman Cart. At first I thought it said The Inhuman Cat, and I was like, well, that would have kind of worked for the episode as well.
Maybe if you just kind of look see at the corner of your eye, it's a double meaning. Card cat.
In
what sets them off on it? Yeah,
Mr. Watson, he likes rumors.
Oh, yeah. He collects rumors. Yes. Not that he investigates all of them. He just thinks they're neat. Or, I mean, like, we don't know because he doesn't fucking say anything. So,
it's feeding it back a little bit into, like, well, you can use this phone and look it up on Google, or just like let your imagination kind of run off with things. That's what people do, when it takes them, when they feel in that kind of way. And that's just something actually special about that. One of the Danish is actually that's an active one thing. Fucking you can't fucking put data to a feeling that like have aura of mystery and wonder about something. So people just make up bullshit to pass the time.
So like it's a combination of like an interesting rumor of something that might be real and worth investigating, or just because it is a thing that people say, that makes it interesting and worthy of study in itself. That seems to be the kind of thing it comes to terms with. Yeah,
and sometimes it bears out. Not everything actually is on Wikipedia. Not everything is on Google.
Yeah,
not everything is out there. So you got to actually fucking go out there and experience it yourself. That's the only way to know for sure.
They will learn why it's not on Google and Wikipedia by the end of the episode.
In this case, yeah.
Yeah, so there's a rumor of a ramen cart. The rumors argue about the quality of the ramen. There's mention that it might be run by a rogue AI. who makes terrible ramen as revenge on mankind.
Or on some of the rumors say really good ramen. It's like it's soy based. No, it's not fucking soy based.
Tonkatsu, you fucking idiot.
You moron. It's like, nah, my friend's cousin's sister's third wife's fucking hairdresser's friend said this.
This is why it's worth investigation to Mr. Watson, is because they go through various rumors, a lot of them about the characters in the show, which are blatantly wrong. But he's pointing out that this is one which has recurred for a long time, so there's probably more truth in it.
Yeah, there's no article about here's one of the common ghost stories of the town. It's none of that. It's not safe, but it's still in circulation. Yes,
and of course,
and the fact that it's still in circulation means there might be something to it.
There's a place you can look to see the variations of it, and that's on Mr. Watson's tablet.
Yeah. Barry is the only one kind of interested in this, and Hacker's just like fun saying, "Nah, not for me." But if a cat man does something weird, I'm in immediately. Just like prints out of the mouth of it, and saying, "Here's like a map I compiled based on all the rumors I've seen of where the entrance or the location to the ramen cart might be." But saying, "Did you see that? Oh, I'm gonna stick around now. I gotta hang around for this case. I want to see him do more weird stuff. I'm in."
Yeah.
I do like the way Hack will only stick around for a case if there's something interesting to him with it, like that cat being weird. Does that animal smell? Various kinds of interests. Yeah.
Yeah. So Barry follows the chain of a friend of a friend's. So she follows a line, a friend of a friend of a friend's. So it always turns out that it wasn't the friend of a friend, it was the friend of a friend. Until she eventually finds a man exercising on top of a roof who says, "Yes, I did go to the ramen cart. It was in Mark Twain." And where's Mark Twain?
And it's like, where's it?
In the heavens.
Point straight up.
This is the first introduction of Mark Twain to this show, which apparently exists in the heavens. Meanwhile, Mr. Watson, he's gone to the place where rumors go to congeal, and that is hospital waiting room.
Yeah, that's good thinking, man. If you find a place where there's like a lot of people just sitting around with nothing to do but have a bit of chat,
well,
it's like
also
that's a good
it's a place where people who've tried to follow rumors injure themselves and have to go get medically attended to.
It's like, I hear it's down this way, and it's like, yeah, you freaking twisted your ankle trying to get down
which is
there.
Where he's got this map, which he's printed out, and then the three of them, as you say, Hack now interested because what on earth is Mr. Watson? There's a fun part earlier where we keep on seeing people answering Mr. Watson's questions, but we don't see how he asked them beyond a little sign.
He's holding up a sign with a question mark. Yes. That's how he's asking the question, obviously. No further explanation needed.
He just infers, I see what you're after. I guess I know that face.
So then they take a brief detour into Keep Your Hands Off Our Zoken's episode where they go through all the different tunnels around the town.
I mean, like, it's fun because there's a man in a giant cat mascot costume bumping into everything.
That's the added twist of there's places it's very difficult for this giant cat man / robot. I don't know what he is.
We don't know. I mean, like, he is eating ramen later, so I question whether he's a robot. I don't know who's a robot and who isn't a robot.
Yes, this episode definitely makes you think in this episode that maybe they're not AIs, because we meet an AI, the owner of the ramen cart, when they finally get to him, and he's been doing this.
I did appreciate that random stuff in the alley he was in underground had like likes and ratings on it, but his cart did not.
So he was an AI who was designed. He's an architectural AI, and eventually, after the first initial conversation, we learned that he designed Mark Twain. But they're having this conversation about sometimes people get here and they're angry at him. Basically, it runs through all the different responses we've heard in the rumors.
Yeah, sometimes they're disappointed, sometimes they're elated, sometimes they're kind of thing. And the difference is, what's the question Barry asked him that's like, oh, no one's ever asked me that before. It's like, something like, she asked him his opinion.
Yes, because they say that they came here because it was fun. And that's the bit he doesn't understand.
Yeah.
It's fun.
The journey was fun, not the actual discovery. I mean, like, ramen, so that's good too.
Then they want to know his name and about him, and that's when he's about to say, "Oh yeah, I created Mark Twain," and that's when Phenomenon Zero appears, and kills the robot essentially before he can explain this new mystery which has been introduced.
Because one of the he was saying is like after he finished his architectural work, like he decided to investigate like the nature of rumors by becoming a rumor and see how people reacted to it. And he still doesn't understand humans' reaction to it. That's the, I guess, the thing an AI can't really figure out, that kind of curiosity of people. But he was also making sure, the reason that I'm not on any Wikipedia, I'm not on social media, I'm not on fucking Google, is like I delete every entry that anyone puts up of me, like in real time. So to keep myself as a rumor rather than a physical thing that people can point to in a direction.
It's basically hard enough to get to. So even if you've got it there, you've taken photos of it. When you go, you'll be going back and explaining to your mates. Because they're honest, there was this ramen truck. It's run by robots. Here, look at these photos, and it's gone.
It's a magic trick.
Yeah.
As soon as you know how it works, it's no fun no more.
And obviously, like him mentioning Mark Twain is actually the thing that got him deleted as an entity, because that's kind of like, okay, no, that's too far. That's too much information. Knock it out. Seems to be the implication.
It seems to be, but then what is the Phantom Zero trying to do?
Yes.
And also, what is it going to do with the bit of Hack's data that it manages to steal from him after Hack tries to steal more data from Phantom Zero?
Tried the same paper airplane trick, but she threw one back at him and took a chunk out of his digital leg.
So there's a big chase, another big platform game chase in the Hyperverse. This time with additional giant Catman who they can ride.
And you know what the climb was? Yeah. So I'm not sure where the cat ends and the man begins.
I appreciate that, because it's like, it still makes you go, can he actually do that? Because we know Hack can move like that out in reality, but it's like
Hyperverse.
Is this just how Watson can move as a platformer character rather than in reality where he's a big clumsy guy in a costume kind of thing? It's just like, or is he a giant cat? We don't know. We just don't know.
Only in the net can I truly be free.
Yes. So they managed to get out because he's Analytica, is the name of the AI. He shows them the exit before he disappears. And when they get back, they discover that his like burnt out robot body lying on the ground. And Mr. Watson recovers, something we've seen him recover at the start of the episode, like this circuit in the shape of a peacock feather. Then we see as they're leaving that the plates and the whiteware have all got this peacock insignia on them as well.
Yep. And you look up, if you look behind Dwayne's shoulder there, for the moon, there's some manner of structure there which can be seen clearly even during the day.
Yeah, so I'm not sure that crazy old man doing press-ups on the roof was entirely wrong, basically.
Because like one of the rumors there amongst all fun saying, heard when the shopkeeper is playing away from his wife with her one, but one of the fun saying that trip to the moon was very fun. So it's like even like moon landing, like conspiracy theories persist in one form or another. But maybe they're right. You're fucking there's something up on the moon, man.
Yeah. There's some weirdness going on, but it's a really lovely episode. I like the idea of investigating people's inherent curiosities to rumors, and just the physical moving through space. I know, like you said, it's from Isolkin as well, but with another twist makes it fun. And then the platforming section, great crack. It's got a giant Catman in it. What not to like?
It had this.
As I say, the finding the mystery ramen stall is from Tatami Galaxy as well. It's a whole load of bits taken from different.
And fucking Space Dandy as well.
Yeah.
You also have to find the mystery ramen one.
Finding the good place to eat. Yeah.
It's just like the kind of mystery thing, even with Bebop or Watanabe again, there was like, we gotta find the VCR. No, you gotta go back down to the labyrinth tunnels and get the Betamax player. No, different. So kind of just like hoofing your way through all of this this place to get this fucking innocuous item, which is nonetheless very important.
Yeah, but compilating like the journey of seeking knowledge with like a physical journey as well. It's a nice. It's a thing that when done well, like it is here, it's very satisfying to watch.
Yep, it's a whole lot of fun. And then it is Chimimo, episode 7. May's birthstone is emerald as all hell, and an enlightened day in hell. So the first part is focused on May to the point where, I mean, the Chimimos play a big part, but Mr. Hell's not really in this episode. He's there, but he's not part of the plot.
Yeah, he has less to do. Yeah.
So we learn that she's in middle school. So I guess there's like an 8-year difference between each of the sisters. I would guess based on their
That seems reasonable enough. Yeah.
And this is all about her. What's their fake Instagram name?
Instagram.
Instagram. Yes.
It's a pin. Yeah.
So she's envious of this old man who takes photos of his dog because he's got like 1 million followers and she's only got like 3,000 and something.
This guy gimmick, you know, this guy just works that really hard.
So she pretends that she's touring the world with her Chimimos by faking it in town by various angles. And then
it's just like, oh, this looks like a Parisian street. It's like, I'm in Paris. This mud looks like the Grand Canyon because it's dry and cracked. I was like, that's a bit of a stretch, but all right.
Then the dog in question shows up in her yard, and a boy about her age comes to recover the dog, and they both stare at each other and sparks fly, which her big sisters see and misinterpret it as the pair of them being in love. But actually, it's the pair of them recognizing each other as Ponstagrammers.
Rival
Ponstagrammers. Not rivals, but it turns out fans of each other.
Yeah.
And she goes off in a strop, and they think, oh, she's in love. And then the oldest one sees her doing, love. He loves me, he loves me not. But she's doing, he's gonna come, he's not gonna come, because they're gonna do a collaboration, is the thing, and they misinterpret it as the pair of them going on a date.
Yeah, they misinterpreted several points because I think they somehow construe it's just like, he's way out of my league, man, and she means in terms of follower count.
Don't say that about yourself.
Whereas they think, he's probably from like a rich, like upper class family, and she doesn't think she stands a chance. It's like, come on, you gotta go for it and break your little heart sometimes.
You gotta be real with him. No, that's what you got. That's one thing you can't buy is you. No, you gotta be real with him. So
I also did appreciate the thing about this kid being like, he just talks like an old man. Like, it's not an act. It's just like, no, I assume maybe he's raised by his grandparents and he knows no other way to speak, that kind of thing.
But it turns out he's a fan of Emerald, her ID on Ponstagram, and they go and do a collaboration, which is the dog and the Chimimos playing in the river. Even though she explains what she was doing, it seems to fly straight over the kid's head. Because he's back to asking when she's going to go back on another world tour. And then she gets home, and the sisters are like prepared like a meal to comfort her for having a terrible date. And my favorite bit of this is that May can't figure out what the sisters are figuring out, so she just thinks they're being weird big sisters.
I mean, I'm not going to say no to all my favorite foods for dinner, but cool. Great.
Yeah. Anyway.
Am I dying?
It all works out well in the end. And it's generally...
I'm sure we'll see that dog and the cat kid again sometime soon.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then in the second one, the Chimimos destroy the microwave because Mr. Hell is being lazy and not supervising them correctly. And...
he's making them do the chores and clean behind the appliances and stuff. So they are giant bouncy balls. So cleaning behind the microwave just knocks it off the fucking shelf.
Like, oh my goodness, those sisters rely on that microwave too much. I'm going to be in so much trouble.
Got me a muffin. He walks me. That's what I'm saying. Oh, fucking microwave is busted. Mr. Hell, get in here. Was it she who found like another Chimimo outside?
Yeah. Elder, the new Chimimo who she found outside, which apparently this is a rogue Chimimo of legend. And he has a
super rare.
By staring into his eyes, he puts you into a state of zen.
Check him out that face.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's just a cute old man face. It's just like, I don't feel mad about the microwave now. I'll just eat my bun as is. It's cool.
Yeah, cold. It's fine. It's just a bun. It's all right.
Same with
in comes fucking Hazuki.
she's got
yes, pipe and hot takoyaki.
She wants hot takoyaki and beer. Oh my goodness, the microwave's broken. Look into the gaze into the elder's eyes. Oh, it's fine. Nothing's better than cold takoyaki and cold beer. They're like, I can't think of anything worse.
I mean, you should have got blown because it's so cold now rather than being so hot. So you sort of going
Mitsumi's mad
the
at
big
boss
sister.
again.
Oh yeah.
She's super pissed.
Yeah.
Like, motherfucker. There's only one thing that can calm my rage right now was this leftover pasta from last night. Oh shit! It better be a good inspiration for this. I can have cold pasta. The flavor's all there. I mean, all the vitamins are in there. It doesn't really matter if I heat it up or not. So
it's all the same in my stomach, says the old man.
Then it becomes a Tex Avery cartoon as everything escalates, as various things go wrong, and they just stare into the eyes of the elder and ignore it.
But it's also Mr. Hell is taking advantage of it, where he's eating the wrong ice cream, and it's just like I'll hold the old man in front of your face until you not forgive me, but forget your woes on this earthly coil.
Well, they take a very long view of it. Where it's like, sure, no point getting mad about that. I mean, we're all gonna die someday.
In 1,000 years, none of this will matter.
This planet is nothing but space dust floating through the cosmos. We'll look back at this and we'll laugh.
It gets out of control when two con artists show up to perform a con about picking up the broken microwave. Then a burglar is in their house and they're just happy to let him steal everything. And then a truck drives in through the wall of the house.
Whoa, what are the odds? Wow, you don't see
we
that
need to remodel anyway, so it's actually doing us a favor. But no, you got to stand up for yourself. It's like the whole Zen thing isn't really cool. It's fucking your life up. That's why you shouldn't be a pacifist. You can be anti-war, but you shouldn't be a pacifist because this people's gonna fucking walk all over you.
You can't be Zen all the time, and so for that reason, the elder must go to hell.
The way, foul spirit.
Was this a different way they opened it? Do they open it up a different way every time they open up a portal? I can't remember.
I think one of them, they all have to chant in a circle, and one of them has to poke the hole with his horn.
Okay. I couldn't remember if this was the way they did it before, but
I think it's a sped up version. We really need to get this guy to hell fairly quick.
Yeah.
Where there's a guy just reaching and caps for like
or
something.
And his sister's instantly back to normal and then yelling at Mr. Hell. Not for all the really disastrous things. I think the first thing is you broke my mug. Even though there's a truck.
He did break her mug that she had to drink 20 cases of beer to get, like an exclusive one or something.
I'm sure you can do it again. Yes, power. This is so funny. This is gonna come out of you, red, you motherfucker. Oh, dude. But she's like, thank God, they're cussing
Things
me
are
out
back
again.
to normal. He's delighted that they're all like giving out to him, and he probably owes them even more money than he ever did before.
Yeah, the bit where they're like, "Oh, it must be such a hard life being a con man. Here, take all our money." Then we took a brief break away from the TV set, and we went to the cinema and watched Dragon Ball Super Superhero, the latest Dragon Ball Super movie that you could go and see in the cinema still right now.
It's keep on going. Good.
There were, in my cinema, there had been, I think, 11 tickets sold. Only 2 people showed up, so I don't know whether they didn't get back from work in time or they all had COVID.
You just bought all the seats you have for yourself, didn't you?
Just all around me to make sure no one sat next to me.
There was at least 2, but there might have been 3 other people besides me in the screening. But it's doing very well financially, so clearly not in the cinemas we're going to, I guess.
No, yeah.
In some parts of the world, it's number 1 at the box office, so that's pretty good.
So this excursion into the Dragon Ball universe.
I keep wanting to call it an episode as well, Brian. I absolutely, I know why you slipped up there, because it's like, oh, what a great episode of Dragon Ball that was.
Yes.
This is the kind of Japanese kind of like subtitling there was like episode of Piccolo. Kind of
takes out 2 heroes, Vegeta and Goku, puts them on a planet far away from the plot and leaves them there for the entire movie. except briefly to check in for Beerus to develop a crush.
He's a capricious cat. He has a type basically, and it is Green Lady. And I follow enough artists on Twitter to know that is a lot of people's type. So yeah.
I wonder if his type. I wonder if his type is just Bulma is his type, because Bulma's the one he always gets on best with. But Bulma's married, and he would never think of moving in on a married woman.
No,
so he can take it out on the husband, basically. Yeah.
I know. Does someone like because it doesn't like take much stick off of them. It's like, while like Bulma would be all in his face. It's just like fun saying, I was doing stuff. It's like fun. I like you.
So the Vegeta Goku thing is basically like, we have to teach Broly how to fight without getting too crazy. So Whis enforces the rules of no transformations, no like Kamehamehas and energy attacks, just flying around beating the shit out of each other. All right, and go.
Yeah.
Also, we're gonna eat with our new chef. I think he's the chef of the place now.
Yes. Yeah.
I think he gets appointed. So they're distracted by that, and like on the very basic problems that are very simple problems, but like on an epic galaxy tale, Bulma can't call them for help because they've eaten so much ice cream that there's like an ice cream tub over Whis's stick that she uses to contact him.
Yeah. There's just so many kind of different ways there that like it isn't some kind of like high stakes plot thing as to why like the main lads aren't here. For one, they're training. Yeah, because we didn't hear the phone, and we're going to gather Dragon Balls because Piccolo needs a little extra pep to take on a threat. So like, well, you got 2 more wishes left, man. So what do you want? It's like, oh, fine, I need or 2 from both. Hang on, I'll take those. It's gonna be like a little off my arse, and a little bit less off the face, and it'll be good. Okay, done and done. We could have just teleported Goku and Vegeta here, but those 2 wishes you realize.
And again, she says at the start, it's like, couldn't you just wish for the Red Ribbon Army to like poof out of existence? And Piccolo's like, it's like, oh, your pride won't let you, huh? Okay, fair enough. Wish for a power upgrade. Fine.
Yes, for it is they.
So that
is the Red Ribbon Army. We are dealing with Magenta. Who's he the son of? He's the son of somebody from previously.
General or
Red?
President Red, who was the leader of the previous one.
It's himself, and is his main guy Carmine?
Carmine is the guy with the big
Carmine
riff.
is
and they go and
they are fucking. Have they not been in anything before? They are fantastic. I love them.
Nope, they're just like brand new for this.
So good. I feel like they've been like they feel like an old Toriyama thing. So I guess that's why they feel so familiar and like
He did all the character designs naturally. He also did the screenplay for it as well. So he made them, and he made them work within the context of this because it's his story.
They recruit the grandson of Dr. Forgot his name. Yeah,
Gero.
Dr. Gero, and this is Dr. Hedo. He is a PhD and an MD.
Yes.
They keep stating.
I assume this will be what Gru looks like in Minions 8 or something.
I can see that, yeah. He does have better minions because while they want to recruit him immediately to get their android project back online, they have to wait 3 months because he's in prison for resurrecting a bunch of zombies to make money quick. Which is like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, they break him out, or he breaks himself.
No, he gets let out. Like it's just like a 3-month sentence for resurrecting 3 zombies.
So they pick him up, and then he.
There's something to remember him by. Is a bomb in his toilet.
Yeah.
And then we check in later, and he's made 2 androids, Gamma number 1 and Gamma number 2, who are superheroes because while he is Dr. Hedo is a villain, he loves superheroes, and he's not a big fan of his grandfather. And so you've got the tension clearly early on that it's like, oh, these guys are bad, but they're not as bad as Magenta and Carmine.
But Magenta and Carmine, Magenta has a great fucking spiel where it's like, I think the Capsule Corporation is colluding with aliens to take over planet Earth, and it's like, you're not entirely wrong. Like Bulma is absolutely abusing power for her benefit, but like in the most minor way possible, like we saw with the Dragon Balls later in the film. So yeah.
And check this out here as well. And I love how Carmine, he's always like intelligent because he's showing them. appeared to be on like the company like internal YouTube channel that he's made. He's just it's Carmine
Productions, like directed by Carmine, edited by Carmine, sound designed by Carmine. It's just like he makes sure he gets all the credits for all the presentations basically.
I checked this out here as well now, and just what these guys are capable of, and you get to see like the real-time speed video of future Trunks blowing up Frieza and
from
like
a handycam kind of thing as well. That was fun.
Yeah, because that was all done for to cut him in half. He's going to parts slide apart really slowly as he realizes he's been cut in half. His perception from it's just over like 10 seconds. This goes.
Here's a shot of aliens landing, and this kid wearing a capsule core fucking jacket chopping the aliens up. That's pretty fucked up, right? And Dr. Hedo's like, Jesus, okay. I mean, like if we're preventing an alien invasion, then we would be the heroes. So yeah, I'm totally on board. Capsule Corporate, sorry, Red Ribbon Army, because I know you guys are the Red Ribbon Army.
Yes, because
it's very obvious. You have the same fucking logo. Stupid.
Well, we make medicine now.
I mean, Gohan doesn't notice, so.
Yeah, that's true.
When they show up literally at his window.
I think it must be the branding or something. We're not seeing the advertisements. The real like pushing is like no. We just happen to look like the Red Ribbon Army logo. This is red some other word pharmaceuticals. Don't worry about it.
But the main plot is how bad parents Gohan and Videl are, and they make Piccolo do everything with looking after Pan.
Yeah, this is the Piccolo movie. I'm fucking
again.
like I couldn't be happier. It's Piccolo the movie. It's
Yeah, but while those two are away, it is well like we've left a kid with granddad.
The good granddad, not the other one.
And we're going to do all the things the parents wanted to do. So don't tell your parents about this, okay? All right, we're just going to go out and have some fun, okay? Have some fun and save the world. Okay, yeah. Cool.
Like it opens with Piccolo like training Pan, and she's just a pure fucking dote. Like, and I like the way she's like, here you go, uncle / grandpa / whatever Piccolo is to Piccolo. Like she gives him some water, and because that's the only thing he wants. She knows what he wants. Nobody else does. They keep buying him fucking plushies. His house is filled with fucking plushies. Who told you I liked these? Well, I saw a bunch of them in your house. That's because you keep getting them.
He still keeps them, though.
I mean, like, it was a gift. It'd be rude to throw away, right? He's such a fantastic old man because, Videl can't go because she has to stay late at work, and Gohan can't go because he's doing research on bugs like a fucking nerd.
Yes, because Piccolo's worried, like, oh, Gohan's not doing his training. He's going to be weak. What happens if aliens invade again? Later on during the plot, then in order to... They've got a plan to kidnap Pan in order to lure Gohan. So Piccolo goes along with it, and Pan goes along with the plan to drag Gohan there and force him to fight.
Piccolo has infiltrated the Red Ribbon Army in disguise to see all this shenanigans going on after being attacked by one of the androids. It's like, I should see what these fuckers are up to. And so he's, as a Red Ribbon Army member, is part of the kidnapping force of Pan, but like, so when he was told to pick up Pan from school, from preschool, because we can't do it, he technically is, but he is doing it via a kidnapping. She's in on it
as well.
Yes.
Yeah. He just knows as well that Pan is a lot more than they could bargain for. Because just saying like your generic kind of SWAT goon. Oh, I'm just like a generic SWAT person here to pick up Pan from school. And it's like, oh, this 4-year-old just knocked me clean out. Oh God, the birds.
And
okay, now Pan, you be handcuffed. You step us off whenever you know. I know you're capable. You're a good kind of trainer myself. But like, just pretend to be, a character and say, "Oh, Daddy, save me! Yeah. Oh, it hurts so much."
He's coached her as to like, "No, I'm captured. I can't believe I'm kidnapped." He's coached her really well. It's very fun because at no stage is Pan ever in any danger. Like there's a guy literally shooting a handgun at her at one point, and she's just dodging it very casually. It's just like none of this is any fucking skin off her neck. Yeah.
The only kind of dangerous bit is like when she has to escape from the explosion. She hasn't learned how to fly yet.
Yes.
But he's got to will it, and then it's like, you can do it. Oh, save the cat by yourself.
Yeah.
It's lots of people getting new powers, or in the case of Piccolo, having Krillin remind him of what some of his powers are. So maybe you could make one do it again.
Well, the reason he doesn't think of that one is because it's crap. It just makes you a bigger fucking target, basically.
It helps.
it was useful in this one specific situation. This is one of the few times it's I never think they use that one because it's generally not very useful. But in this case, fighting a giant android, that would be very useful.
I like the idea of Krillin being the person who remembers the plots of the previous stories, which possibly have flown out the minds of everybody else.
I heard like before I watched this that this was very good for people who weren't into Dragon Ball, like or hadn't been to years of it. Like, but yeah, it basically catches you up pretty fucking easily. It's like here's a quick thing of the Red Ribbon Army at the start of the movie. That's what you need to know for the sake of it. Anytime we're going to talk about Dr. Jarrow, Dr. Jarrow was some motherfucker who got killed by his own androids, and he kind of turns around in the flashback and goes like, "Fucking what?" Like the characters are reacting to their own like backstory being given, and a lot of characters are kind of like. Piccolo kind of goes to Dende. He's like, "Hey Dende, can you increase my power level?" And then he's like, "Nah, I need to be like old to do that. But you can just get the Dragon Balls to do it." It's like, "Oh, we have to gather the Dragon Balls." It's like, "No, Bulma's already got them." They really, really rapidly like move through a lot of the
magic juice,
history.
I can give Shenlong a boost so he's more powerful, so he can do it in the future. And now they've done that, I want to see them do it to Yajirobe because I was like, he's
yes, he's right there. He's downstairs, a few floors.
Unlock your potential and a little bit more on top because you're a great customer.
No, I did like that because Shenron doesn't give Bulma a little extra ass or a little extra longer eyelashes, but he like Piccolo's technically his former boss is like it's good to stay in good with the boss. It's like I give you a little extra, a little pep for your step kind of thing.
Go back a long way.
I assume with Yajirobe's potential unleashed, he'd be super powerful. I also want them to just then have him run away as normal. Even
yes, yeah. Now I can use my superpowers to survive better. Yeah.
It can punch somebody out to go flying into a mountain and saying, "Oh shit, I'm gonna quit when I'm ahead." Up to the
anyway, it's a lot of fun. Gamma 1 and 2, they're a lot of fun as well.
Very much like Hugo and Mugen from Tiger and Bunny 2. Well, we got one of them in Mamoru Miyano anyway, but like, no, we want to be, well, in this case, we're going to be superheroes, and we're arguing with each other about, I'm going to be kind of the dynamic, exciting one, and I'm going to be kind of the crude, analytical one. And say, no, dynamic, exciting is better, it's more super. Come on.
They're not completely stupid. That's the other good thing is like they do figure out that they're being fed a line.
Like Piccolo spends a considerable portion of a fight with Gamma 2, like going like, "Dude, are you sure you're the good guys? Because like you guys were kidnapping a child, I mean, like I was involved in it, but still, you guys ordered it, basically."
Who's a giant monster around here? I think you do.
Yeah.
And for the most of the time, you're not thinking about it being in CG whatsoever.
There's a few of the slower scenes where it seems a little choppy, but like on the action, it looks so fucking good. Like they're really using the ability to be able to swing the fucking camera around to like full effect. It's lovely.
Yeah, this was fully directed by the CG director of the Brody film, Tetsuya Kodama. I guess it's just a challenge. Can we make that the whole film?
Yeah.
Can we really kind of push this thing out and they found use it well because can you see the bass in the background of my camera here?
Oh, that bass is so nice.
Swoopy thing. It did it really good. No, kind of again, it's like that kind of Toriyama via Ultimo thing of move over lots of pipes put in the air. But all that thing with the kind of the railroads, the minecart thing around there, it comes into play like waterfall, the big cliff there, that building is blown the fuck up. It all kind of is utilized within the environment, and it's just swooping and ducking and diving in and around all of that.
Yeah,
it's really sweet.
Because like your general Dragon Ball fights would take place in a bunch of plains. There's a couple of mountains to punch people through, that kind of thing. Whereas this, like, because they have this wonderfully designed base to use, there's a great sense of like verticality. And they use the space really well because they can. It's a 3D space. It's a gorgeous film. If you're complaining about this being CG, like this is, I feel like for a lot of people this is going to be like what they imagine Dragon Ball looking like when they grew up with it. That kind of
I've noticed
it didn't look like
this.
I've
noticed Tetsuya Kodama also worked on the Susie's Zoo TV show, which always used to be the thing I'd point to as like. That was when was that made? 2011. I'd always point to that as like, look, you could have your CG animation look like this, where you play to the strengths of trying to make it look like hand drawn. He also did Gambare Lulu Lolo Tiny Twin Bears and the spin-off movie for that. which I've never seen the shows, but I have seen the trailers, and they always looked good. Worked on Ashura as well. That's another good CG movie.
He's been working. He's working his way up into getting those Toei jobs by a bunch of creature things.
Yeah, and I was going to see who did the art direction, because the other good thing about those backgrounds is the color is
Nobuhito Sue.
Stands out particularly.
Things he's they did it for Brody as well, so that's why we're together. Things we like. Oh, does what's? Oh, no, that's a different JoJo. It's the older one. Still does nice backgrounds. The One Piece film, some more recent ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the setting is fantastic in this one. I think it's more noticeable than it is in the Broly one, because the Broly, a lot of that's fighting around on fairly simple rock glacier backgrounds, whereas here it's a whole James Bond base you've got to play around in.
And like again, it's a very well constructed film. Like the superheroes don't want to have a climactic fight with the aliens, like where there'd be civilians getting hurt. So they have it in their own base is the plan. It's like, oh, that's why we're kidnapping his daughter, not because we're evil. We're trying to contain the damage of this evil mastermind Gohan, who keeps getting interrupted by people in his research.
Yeah, the way it kind of comes off in the end, because we're getting all of these dudes who are not Goku and or Vegeta. Band together. We rounded up fucking Goten and Trunks. We've got Android 18. We've got Krillin there because he has a flying motorbike. I don't know. And it feels a bit more like a One Piece for them when they're all kind of ganging up on some like larger foe, and they're all just like, fun. We're not Luffy, but if we all fucking gang up on him, just fun combo the fuck out of him. We might be able to win the day.
And unlike a One Piece film, it doesn't rely on the main character showing up at the end to kick the bad guy's ass in after their failure to do.
No, again, it's one Piccolo film, and it was by kind of getting Gohan back into the picture, and it's Gohan who kind of like who seals the deal and the whole thing. It's just fun saying, I know you're good for this, man. I got fucking belief in you, fucking. I know you're a fucking nerd right now. You got parental responsibilities, but I'm here for you. I'm minding your child. I'm still training you right now. You're still training me, so come on.
You did one of my attacks.
Oh,
that was a lovely little thing. If one thing is he's going to fun Kamehameha again, one said, no, we're going to do is fucking legit, fucking special beam cannon the shit out of him.
Even Piccolo kind of, I'm gonna hold him down and you shoot him with a Kamehameha or whatever. I don't fucking care. And it's like, no, I'm gonna use your signature fucking move. And it's like, you did good, kid.
My boy. My oldest son.
Yeah, it is adorable at several things, like, and even like shots of him like watching Gohan fight the androids and just going like, yes, he's fucking getting it. He's getting his fighting instinct back. It's like well dressed as one of the guards, basically.
He's so threatening too when he gets like, he's got to dig down and pull up that little bit more he got off of Shenron, and it's just like there, and he's just walking up to Gamma number 2, who's like, oh, you're big, aren't you? Yep.
And it is funny when when Gohan's like, oh, you got to think of a name for this new form. He goes, well, I'm Orange Piccolo. That's this new form.
Yeah, he's not good at coming up names. It's just like, he didn't even know he was orange. It was like, well, I turned orange, so I couldn't see myself. But I'll take your word for it. All right, Orange Piccolo. That's what we'll call it, because I'm usually green. How bad?
Yeah, which of course ties into the chapter of Dragon Ball Super, which just came out that same week, where we get a similarly unoriginally named color variation of a pre-existing character show up. But,
it's fine. Just call it what it looks like. I feel like that's the best way to do it. Yeah.
Hopefully, on that front, they might be getting into those 4 universes that didn't show up in the TV series.
But they didn't make mention of that out there. There's more universes. We fought them. Some real badasses out there.
But obviously, the comic is like much further behind than this is. This takes us to like a year before the last chapter of the original comic. Because
this is Pan says she's 3.
Pan says she's 3, and we've got they finally had their puberty growth spurt.
Again, how simple this film explains it. Piccolo's like, fucking, I hadn't seen you in a little bit, and now you shut up, and like Gohan's like, yeah, like sayings are like weeds. They stay small for ages, and then they just fucking woof.
One day I'll have them for Vegeta.
I don't like it when, like, I think in one of the latest Super like character model thing, they made him slightly taller than Bulma. It's like, no, he needs to be smaller than his wife. It's better that way. Dear.
Maybe
Yeah,
he's been
yeah,
going
could
and
be.
looking for the Dragon Balls every so often and adding on a few centimeters like Frieza was.
Quarter an inch. Little more. That's all 3 wishes, Vegeta. Sorry.
That's what Frieza's doing, you know. He's still got that villainous streak.
Then back to TV, but still in Toei CG land. It is Dragon Quest: The Adventure of Dai, episode 91, VEARN'S Truth, in which we learn that Vern split himself into 2: old Vern, young Vern.
Hold it.
Oh, hold it. What am I holding it for, Niall?
No, I said
You
I
called
said
it.
I called
Okay,
it.
right.
Oh, yeah. You did.
Froze young Vern got missed a creature from the underworld to possess his young body, and we can go around having 2 Verns, twice the fun.
So you'll be all my physical strength, and while my body won't be able to move, you can possess things and make them move, and I'll be like all my magical strength. And if anything goes wrong, I'll just rejoin up with the younger me. So I'm just keeping that as an ace in the hole, basically.
Yeah. Which he does. He rejoins up with the younger version. So now Dai has to fight Vern again, but this time it's a stupid, sexy Vern.
He was all the magic and wisdom of his older self, and all of the strength and raw vitality of his younger self.
And the
also Dio.
And the lads downstairs have got to fight Mist, but Mist hasn't got a body to fight them with. What's he going to do? He's going to possess Mom.
The couple around here.
The strongest fighter.
Who's the strongest motherfucker here? Crocodile? No. The other thing is, like, obviously he can push the body past its limits. So while he's fighting with Mom's body, like, you can see her knuckles like bleeding and stuff because he doesn't feel her pain. I was like, oh, yeah. That's particularly cruel because obviously they don't want to fight back their friend as well.
Yeah, it's kind of for when Mom was well. The only other time she gets to have a good fight is when she's being basically taken hostage or possessed.
Yeah, because she usually holds herself back, and it's like, oh, that gives her moral fiber. But I would also like to see her moral fiber cave someone's head in or something. I don't know.
she's knocking the crap out of Larhart and him, and even when they say we're getting serious now, she knocks the crap out of them again. So it's like, oh yeah, she has the stuff. I mean, she gets fucking Hokuto Shinken. That's it. There's always one reason then why she can't Hokuto Shinken. It's not technically alive, so it's like,
yeah. There's all kinds of technicalities.
Yeah, that fight felt like, oh, they've been waiting ages to get to this bit because they really go to town with the Mist Mom. But then he leaves Miss Mom's body and takes over Hyuncle's.
That was his plan all along. He set up Hyunkle years ago as, I'm going to teach you dark puppetry for the purpose of puppeting your body. I want you to be my permanent host. Guy whose all his bones are broken.
I was going to say, this does not seem like the greatest plan. A man who...
Does Mist not know all his bones are broken? I'm not 100% sure.
Won't do, that'll happen out on the stairs. I don't think he's come in and said, oh, all my bones are broken. I can't fight anymore. Also, I don't think he was aware of just how powerful his light aura is inside him. So I assume that's the shock he's getting as he's going through at the end of the episode when he gets to the core of Hyunkle. That he's probably in for a bad surprise about how good Hyunkle has become in his absence. Things are turning up the heat now. I guess just these 2 guys to beat up.
Yeah, but again, to show that it's still very serious and they're in real danger. Like, even Chew gets like slapped into a wall. Because that sucks. It's just like, what? Not the comedy mouse. You need to leave the comedy mouse alone.
This is a big week for Toshu Furukawa because he was like the Mist Parasite by itself and it was Unbound. Explain all the best of it. Yeah, it was fucking some sweet fucking action there.
Yeah.
Love it. kicking off downstairs, kicking off upstairs. Still haven't seen that dragon yet. It's gonna come out. I mean, there's fun the dude. Again, fun. I've also like last week, you know, if we're talking about hack it. That sounds a lot like hack it. Kill Vern. That's like that's a code. A code that means kill Vern. If he steps out of line.
We will wait and see. And then finally, we've got Shine On, Bakumatsu Bad Boys, Episode 7, Prevent the Dissolution of the Shinsengumi, in which we get to another real-life event, which I have forgotten to bookmark, even though I was looking at it earlier. It is the Gion Festival Arson of... It's got a different name, of 1864. And that is what these guys are trying to sort out. They've got 3 days to prove that they can still be an effective Shinsengumi. Otherwise, you're going to have to disband. If we disband, that means all those criminals are going to get beheaded.
So initially their thought is like, what if we just go out to town and start kicking in some heads? It's like, would that make us look good? It's like, no, that would not make you guys look good. You need to be very tactful about what you do. So they need to investigate rumors about shit going wrong, except for obviously the leader, who's still on the shit list. Actually, he's in jail at this stage, isn't he? Yeah.
Yes, he's in jail. They're all going back and forth. The assassin goes to have a word with him, and so you got to take out your brother, and then he throws a cup at him, hitting the wall, which puts a dent in it, and breaks the cup. And then later on, you see he grabs it, and you think, oh, is he gonna? Because they're talking about
rather than kill my brother, I'd rather holds up a shard of cup or whatever. Yeah.
Break out of fear and try and make amends with the sister of the man I killed.
Yeah, that's what he meant. That's what that scene implied for a second.
Well, yeah.
I was wondering, like, you know, it's something that Saki meant to do, but it was just like, I thought, did he think he actually, like, you know, I'm the cool guy, doesn't fuck up, and I fucked up, because, like, you know, fun. How did he get after him? Who put him with that ball in front of his eyes? Just gotta go like that.
Yeah, it's like, I intended him to commit suicide, or did you intend him to escape? Probably escape seems to be the implication, but I think the other thing that's leading us that way towards, like, I'll kill myself rather than kill my own brother, is their leader. When he shows up to the bosses, they're like, I'm a commit to Harikiri right now, if that's cool with you guys. And they're like, no, this isn't gonna be sorted out by you killing yourself. You gotta actually do something about the crimes, basically.
Here's your badge and your gun, you're reinstated.
For 3 days, and then we're gonna kill you if you don't sort it out by then.
Yeah, I think is this the Kinmon incident, maybe? 20th of August, 1864. Okay, yeah, I think this is the situation.
I assume it's lined up with the festival that they're talking about, because through 2 different ways of investigating, they come across the same thing, where they're gonna set a big bunch of fires during this festival.
Yes, because the rest of them managed to track down where they've spotted this particular name who shouldn't be here. He should have been kicked out a few episodes ago. What's he doing back in town? They find out where he is. They find a load of weapons. The brother gets away. One guy stays behind. Of course, they capture him, and then the assassin starts torturing him. And then you've got you didn't need to torture him, because we've got our main character who's questioning the sister, and he's got the same information but without having to use torture. I think that's the point the story is making at this point.
Yeah, because, like, if it wasn't for that, of him coming across the same information by being empathetic with the sister of the guy he murdered.
Well, he pointed out that he was going to be one of them. They hadn't got. It wasn't that he murdered. He was forced into a position where they had to have a sword fight. Yeah,
like he basically talks her down from it, and she shares the information that her brother told her to get out of town by this date, and it's like, oh, that implies this other stuff, that kind of thing. Other than that, this show would be very pro-torture to get information out of criminals. Yeah, and so it isn't because of that. Yeah, so it works out. I did appreciate it was the crime collector guy and the big guy getting the information from the street urchins.
Yeah, everybody has exactly the same methods they do. It's like,
it's great. Yeah.
This
If Akira goes and meets him on the boat,
Yes.
it's like
A romantic rendezvous on a boat. Yeah. Okay.
The scientist,
in exchange for this
yes,
information.
yeah. Go ahead.
In Europe they say they say thank you for the kiss. What's the snow? Just on the cheek, it's a little peck on the cheek. You can manage that, can't you? It's like, okay. What was that? You put your
You
face
turned
in.
into
Not
it.
fair.
No, it was the boat rocking, even though that's clearly not what's happening.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And then we get the scientist guy who goes, well, I've spoken to my Dutch philosopher and scientist friends, and they've not heard anything. And then the book's like, I've spoken to all the geishas I know, and they don't know anything either.
Not the priests or anything. No, the thing I meant.
I think he's supposed to be like a wandering monk, which is that's why he's not involved in the politics of being anti-Christian. Because we've seen from Ninja Girl and Samurai Master is like when you got a whole load of priests or monks in one location, then they're involved in the politics of the world. Whereas he's a wanderer, and so therefore he's both above and below all that nonsense.
Yeah, wandering monks don't tend to have the same kind of clout as people who are institutionalized. Yeah.
The Rhodes Scholar.
And so then they all come back with information, as does our hero, and it's like he tears off his shirt and declares that he'll commit seppuku if you don't. Is it in the? For what reason is he saying this? Oh, if he fails to stop the art, he'll do whatever it takes.
Yeah, he says, "I'll do this because I have to, and if I fuck it up this time, for sure."
And they're like, "You have your sword back. We're a team again. Let's go and stop this rebellion." Which I think in this case, I think they do in history.
Spoilers.
Yeah, but clearly with the names they say, you're supposed to, if you're familiar with this bit of history, you're supposed to already have that in your mind. But obviously, you also have in mind that they've gone against history in previous episodes, so.
So it's not necessarily going to go the same way. Also, magic swords and yokai, so not quite the same as what happened.
Yeah, and this feels like, this is the main character back to where he was at the start of the series. He's gone through his
newfound resolve, basically.
And the guy with the very pointy hair, and we get a flashback of him commenting about how, this guy is the guy who should be the leader. He's got the right personality type, just like the guy he's pretending to be.
He inspires other people and draws them around him, kind of thing, because he's spunky, because he's very loud and stands by his morals, and that kind.
He's red.
The leader guy, the red guy.
Red means he's a leader.
That's right.
And I think you've seen that with the Hitman in this episode as well, because of how he's tipped him off to like, that wall isn't very stable, and I'm also giving you a tool to get through that
dig.
Wall. Yeah, because until he broke it out, and like hand cottoned on is like, that even the dent in the wall, that was part of the plan.
Was a clue that the wall is weak, and you can dig through it with like a cup. Like I just damaged it with a cup, for example,
across the room. Yeah.
Through the bars as well. Good shot.
And also like when he's fighting the guy to capture him, so he's not actually attacking him, he just kind of uses the guy's own momentum to bring him down. That was a nice bit of fighting in there. This feels like a show. There's nothing particularly dazzling about it, but it feels like one of those shows where it's consistently of the same standard throughout.
Yeah. It's not spectacular. It's just like really competent.
Yeah.
Somebody give a shit about it.
Just nice little touches. Like there's a bit when someone's running barefooted along the ground, and like the impact of the foot hitting the floor felt like just right. It wasn't like dazzling, but it just catches your eye and you go, yeah, that's gives you an impression of weight.
That's Ichiban Boshi running around, and they've taken to kind of add to the detail of his disgusting, filthy soles of his feet because he's running around barefoot all the time.
Because he was in jail and didn't have a chance to get his shoes or anything. Yeah.
Actually, I don't believe he wears shoes. Or no, he does, because he wears like the single block the fucking sandals.
Because he was doing like the kicking away swords because he refused to use one initially. Yeah.
Yeah, very enjoyable. I think must be I guess last week was probably the halfway point. I assume this is 12 episodes.
Yeah, seems like it.
I think Fuuto is as
Mid-
well.
it-
Okay.
Yeah, right. Well, that'll whiz through it then.
And that's it for this week. Let me go check the spreadsheet just in case anything's sneaking up on us. So next week it will be the week ending of the 27th. Oh, and then me and Nar can talk a little bit about Kitakon. Yeah, nothing new. It's the following week. JoJo's is back.
Oh, okay.
All right. As well as going to the cinema, me and Nar went to our first convention in, well, for me, 2.5 years.
Yeah, I've been doing, just
maybe 2 or 3 quarters.
First one in a little while now.
Yeah,
I think HibanaCon 2019 would have been the last one I went to.
That must have been, yeah.
So how was it? Was it completely undifferent, like you'd never never been
I
gone?
had a safe amount of fun, would be the way I would describe it. In that I've come back.
A sensible amount of fun. Okay, good.
In that I haven't caught COVID, as far as I know. And I took all the precautions I could, except, I guess, one point having fries and battered chicken balls with my mask off in a restaurant. That might be as risky as it got for me.
I mean, that's a risk you gotta take. Battered chicken?
And battered chicken balls, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mastravaganza, my panel where I do what I would call a weird video party, and which some people said they're too normie to enjoy it or too sober. And I have to remind these people, I am entirely sober the entire time I am creating that panel and running that panel.
It's the thing. I was like, what were you on when you made this? Nothing. I'm just fucking weird. It's fine.
But I know you might be on something, so I'll prey upon you weak willpower.
That's true. Yes. There's one clip in particular which went on very long, and I was like, and it's only 1.5 minutes, and it still feels not even that. I think it's 1:20, and it still feels really long. And it was quite early in the panel. But having nothing against it meant it was the most packed I think I've seen it in that room.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, the timing was good, because you actually had enough of a remove from the opening ceremony, which again, nothing really of great import would actually be imparted there, but nonetheless people go to it. And their first plan after when that was done, get dinner. So if you're straight on after that, you're not going to get a bigger crowd. But once they've had dinner, they're going to want to do something. If I'm saying this sounds weird, let's roll on in. So it was,
and there was more new people coming to it than there's been in forever, probably since the first 2 times I ran it.
Wow.
And then Your Hero Academia was fine, except for the one paragraph which had disappeared out my notes.
Oh no!
It's all right. Okay.
Yeah,
and
it was right. And also, then when I saw Niall's Hell in a Cell, I was like, I'm stealing that format for other panels in the future.
Fucking incestuous this is. Fucking just stealing each other's content. I don't know about that.
Well, I'm glad I came across with the funky setup notwithstanding, because the room I was in, the studio, had a pretty funky setup. Where it went through my laptop, it went through one engineer's laptop, it went through then to a second engineer's laptop before we could find one would actually fucking work with the thing.
Wow.
It was just like an odd thing with the display settings on the projector. My computer can do the frequency of hertz they were looking for to send to it. For whatever reason, it wouldn't pick it up.
Weird.
So I was trying to make a couple of things. The presentation wouldn't go right off the second engineering laptop up. We could access the folder and put it on the fucking screen. We're gonna do this rough and dirty. I'm just gonna fucking want to introduce each one in category. I intended to do more with it, but here we go. So we go through all the whole thing. It's a barrage of videos under a certain theme. So we had, the undercard to get like the juices flowing there. Had like a sequence of Bruce Lee, where he's popped up or none out thereof in a couple of animes, both fighting and getting beaten up. Good selection there of dirty fighting, fun pokes in the eyes and kind of underhanded tactics, and a healthy amount, I would say. Actually, I rolled back on some. Maybe I should have put it in more of shots to the nuts, of which there were many. So, like, again, that I was standing, just couldn't do what you could with it. Like, my main thing at being away from the so long for saying, am I going to just completely seize up in speaking in front of a crowd again? That didn't happen at all. I was actually fun, completely fun, chill about it on both panels that I did. It's like, technical difficulties with the other one, but sure, hey, we got through it, and people turned out for it, and I seemed to enjoy it. And the room did fill up, and they were very patient and considerate with the way the way it went. So thank you, folks, for that.
That's excellent, man.
I'd say Your Hero Academia should have been in Woodskowen, not the theatre, and the robot battling panel should have been in the theatre.
Yeah,
I'd say that. I also should not have taken my tablets about half an hour before doing Your Hero Academia because I neglected to remember that one of my tablets causes your mouth to dry out.
And you're there just flapping your gums, drying it out more.
Yeah.
What were you on when you were making this? Oh, man.
Yeah, and also that was the time where I was like, oh, this is the first time I felt like, have I got long COVID? But
jeez, yeah.
But then, like a few days later, I remembered, oh, I think it's the heat off the stage lamps causing me problems because I had the same. I remembered I had the same problem when I did Never Ending in the End in the theatre as well, and I've never had it in any of the other presentation rooms. I think it's just the stage lighting, standing under that one spotlight for 60 minutes.
Like, how do you even practice that at home? Like, get a fucking stage light and shine it in your face as you're fucking writing the script. Like, I don't know how you can practice for that. Yeah.
I could probably, if I'm ever there again, just ask them to turn it down a bit. Doesn't need to be.
Probably, yeah.
But on Niall, for change, I had no technical problems. My laptop plugged in and ran perfectly normal. The guys.
Yeah, I mean, but
the guys doing the Taskmaster panel who were setting up before I was doing Your Hero Academia was really confusing. They had like 3 of the Warwick Tech people out trying to figure out what was going on, and then I roll up and say, mine worked fine last night. Here, let me plug mine. Oh, it's working fine again today. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I was lucky, I think, because I always had in my back of my mind, should I ask what settings the laptop should be set to for their projectors beforehand? I was like, I'll fly by the seat of my pants and see if I'm fine.
Well, it seemed to differ from room to room because the panel I did Friday night, NMA Happy Hour, in the Woodskowen room, I basically went in during the half hour like beforehand, and it was fun. Plug it in. Right? I got the fun lights in the room just the way I wanted them as well. And saying, oh, this go, okay. Hit a pre-roll video and let him come in.
I've never had a problem with that. We had a problem with Studio before when we did Dynamite in the Brain. Which was similarly laptop projector incompatibility. They've had to fiddle with it beforehand when I was in the massive room for the last Amicon, which was there. But we went like, I went there like 12 hours before the panel started or whatever it was, and did a test run earlier. But again, that was all generally related to frequencies. But hey, they're supposed to be getting paid for it. Oh, the other problem apparently was that nobody from Warwick conferences was communicating effectively with the technical staff in the art centre.
Right.
What would also really help is that the half-hour period in between, you shouldn't need as long for these kind of things. But if you do, you got that much to do it. If the which Metal Gear's best discussion panel finish up a little sooner, would have gotten in a little sooner. I could have started things a little sooner. Problems notwithstanding.
Well, you know me, I always try to finish exactly on time and start exactly on time because I don't want to be in anyone's way.
Also, it's less work for you. So.
It is.
Yeah, that too.
It's annoying when you come in and you find somebody else setting up their panel that's not happening for like another 3 hours. You're like standing there, come on, guys, I've got to set mine up. But there you go. I mean, no one's managed to do it without that gap since John did it for the last Iacon. It is possible to do it without a half-hour gap. Just make sure people finish 5 minutes before the next person, and hopefully pass it over. Now, in theory, I was speaking to one of the tech guys. Is that they're going to get new projectors in, custom made? Because it looks like in the theater, at least, they're running it through like converters from HDMI to SDI. And from what I think the new projectors will have better color reproduction, because that was definitely something I noticed when I was doing Masteravaganza. It's like, got my new laptop, which has got the best screens I've ever had, and it's looking great on my laptop as I'm looking at it there. I turn around, look at it on the screen. I was like, the colors are a bit washed out on the screen.
Yeah.
Well, we're still up big like that. It
Yeah,
can have that effect as well.
I mean,
it wasn't like you I had this thing on the original fucking reel up there when playing out.
It didn't really bother me that much, but I was like, once I was speaking to the tech guy, I was like, oh, you get new projectors. Okay, tempted to come back again. Goodness knows when, because I don't think anyone's running there next year, as far as I know. But
just make them all the same kind, please, so that we know that it'll work in every room. Not just fucking Jesus. When we can't get this one because Jeff set this up and Jeff has left us now, and he's the only one who knew how to fix it. That was just usually the way with these things.
Oh yeah, I remember there was one time in Woodscown where they had to they were struggling to find the password to get onto the computer there, because they used to let you run stuff off the computer in Woodscown. Which is I do the same as you, Niall. Is I always have a backup on an external thing.
Yeah, I've always done that for many years now. I think this is only the second time I've had to deploy that.
And then I obviously go,
it's great to have
that extra crazy step further, where I've got that standalone VLC thing which runs on the off the hard drive, and then I also export my PowerPoints as PNG files. I didn't have to run it that way this time, because I've now got a computer powerful enough to run video within PowerPoint without any problems. Also, I've got an up-to-date version of PowerPoint, because that was the other issue, was I was running off PowerPoint 2010 in 2019, and it was it was showing its age at that point.
Did we see any other panels though? Did we? Well, I can't recall going to any of the quizzes. So no,
did not go to any of the panels. There's a lot of quizzes. I think they should have put the quizzes all in the same room and just ran constantly quizzes throughout the entire weekend. I think that would have worked.
That'd be pretty good, actually. Yeah. Because I mean, like,
we got that many of them. Again, this is just based entirely on what gets submitted to them. It's got if this is something we need to do, is to fill the time slot. We usually fill the time slot. But if I could have done it out, maybe like, I know again it wasn't enough to even want to do it, but it was typically usually the case where there was something I might have been having interest in poking my nose in that was on opposite when I was doing something else. It's like, I'm presenting this, so I can't let you go to this thing, So that was kind of the case.
But yeah, for a first con back during a pandemic, it was with a new committee. I thought it went fairly well. I almost stepped on a giant rat on the walking back to the rooms one time.
Oh dear.
Because they're doing some building work. I suspect they just disrupted wherever a rat was living.
Sure.
I had an adequate time.
Yeah, I had about the level of time I thought I was going to have. Perhaps a little bit more.
Are you glad you went?
I am glad I went, because I've not been to one of those things for 2.5 years, and I've got Amicon coming up, which will be hotel based, which greatly increases the chance of catching COVID. But hopefully, I'll have had my 4th jab by then.
I'm glad I went, because I made these things. It's what kind of drew me out of my fucking shell a bit to actually start making and doing things again. So it didn't suffice in that regard, and had restoring a little bit of or making me aware again of that confidence I do have. I've done this before, and I can do it again. however long it's been, as long as I'm prepared enough and practiced enough in it, and it was fine. So anything bad to happen was out of my control.
Yeah, and I got over my thing. My main fear was like, is there going to come a day when I do a Manstravaganza and the audience is going to be too young for any of my references to land that I've put in there? And thankfully that has not happened yet. Partly because of this very podcast. And also partly because I guess young anime fans are keeping more up to date on anime than the millennial anime fans did. And so I can put in Spy Family clips and people will enjoy them. I can put in your boy Kobe clips. I can put 3 of them in and they work every single time.
Yeah. I think like the window was just fun shortened even more because as we find out, okay, it's like, because gets like one thrown out, the whole 12 or 13 are gonna go of that, so they want to take that in, absorb that in. But they move straight past it, maybe not think about it for much afterwards, but they still absorbed it, so it was still in there enough. Or they really liked it and they look at it again.
Also, I think isn't like the general things people have found is like the quote unquote Gen Z are more likely to watch things weekly than millennials were. So therefore, that's something I can relate with them because that's the Gen X way as well.
That's the way. That's the way I like it too. It's sensible. It's healthy, and it fosters more discussion and retention of what you just witnessed.
Yeah, and it's more enjoyable because you kind of like look forward to the next episode or the next time I'm talking with ye or that kind of thing.
My other thing is because I did Manstravaganza differently. I had a fixed video format rather than I would rearrange the playlist as I went if needed be, based on reaction, and that seemed to work. So I can carry on doing that. I trusted in my final video clip. I was like, no one is going to know this song, but I feel like the hook is catchy enough that it's going to get stuck in people's heads, to the point where later that evening someone came up and say, thank you for playing that song, it changed my life. And I was like, oh, I don't know how to answer that because it's a very silly punk song about a barbecue. So I'm not quite sure how that changed your life, but fair enough, glad to help.
Maybe they're a punk who loves barbecue.
I mean, it's the song. It's definitely the song for you if you are a punk who loves barbecue. The song is called "Punkish Man in BBQ."
Yeah. Adequate time.
Yes. Now I've got to write another bloody panel for Amicut. That one I committed to a lot longer ago.
Yeah. I'm kind of like grappling with going with that one. I guess I had the free tickets, so it was a matter of getting up there. Like, I think I'd only be kind of there Friday evening because I'd be coming off of a night shift then and on for the Saturday and come and leave early on the Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm planning to go Saturday, home early Sunday. Just for practical reasons and minimizing contact.
Yeah. Yeah, because I don't know. I was like thinking, like, as we say, we're going to cut them some slack, with what was submitted to them, what was the first time back, but like working to see people and that. But I also like to see and do other things and look at other stuff, which I didn't really do so much. And part of how you kind of run into people about the things is going and seeing and doing those other things. But there's not as much of them to do. There's less kind of natural organic opportunity for that. Because I don't know, I'm trying to just. It's really underscored for me this, and it was something I always knew, but really underscored for me this time that the crowd I started out with, and who we kind of, Gareth Foster was, into that crowd over the years of events, but then, through attrition, not even pandemic or anything like that, they go off and do their own things. They have to go lead their own lives, and they just they ain't coming back. But for whatever reason or other, still going to these things.
Or they do check in and they don't find us because we're all hiding playing board games in the board game room.
I don't know, but it's just I to meet people too, but also I went to the anime thing because I like the anime thing. I like enjoying it, like talking about doing that, and I know. I feel I taste it like kind of like a backseat sometimes to just like this enthusiasm. It's kind of I suppose just like people meeting up maybe their first time after a long while, maybe their first time ever. So that kind of takes precedence, and that's kind of what's reflected in the events that get pushed and get kind of broadcasted the most. But I felt I wanted a little more something there for
Yeah,
that.
I mean, those some of those quizzes
Mhm.
could have been highly educational, but there was 10 of them.
They could have been,
There
yeah.
was 10
There's
of
a lot
them.
of them.
At least 2 of them were hentai related. Uh, well, I think
Three.
no, there one.
Why do you need 3?
There was
Oh, yeah.
There was 3 hentai panels, but I think only 2 of them were quizzes. Yeah,
Okay. I mean, like, I still feel like you're kind of.
I think it was
fair
a
enough.
case of taking what you could get in a pandemic. That's why
Yes.
that's why
Yeah,
my
yeah,
expectations
sure.
I think were lower than Niall's. Also, because I got to protect myself because I'm high risk for COVID, so I've got to curb my enthusiasm, not go to all the events.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I wasn't the one to kind of to set on to fucking hitch my wagon to let's say that, but
Hmm.
I kind of wanting that at least like a little bit of that full form experience, or that kind of all rounder experience. Whereas this was fine for what it was, but it wasn't going to be entirely what I was after either. I needed actually I need that other component there to make it actually feel like a whole
You've got to lead
weekend
by
for me.
example,
You know?
Niall. That's the only
Okay.
way you get changed. You've got to submit something as a quiz, and then it turned out to not to be a quiz, and it be no.
Well, it's fine. I mean, I'm not saying everyone's seen no internet in bounds. No, people did come
Yes.
out bounds. If I'm going to do
Yeah,
them,
yeah.
they're interested in doing that. But
Yes,
I'm also
but
interested in going to the bounds.
that's
What is
yeah,
about
but-
there. But I don't feel like doing a
No,
quiz all the time. I don't feel like seeing this again. Can we have something else in there that feels a bit more
yeah.
substantial?
I think part of that was I don't know what had dropped out. Lots of things I think had dropped out, and
Yeah, yeah. That
and
did help, I
then they
imagine.
didn't well. I suspect if some people who could have run panels could have gone and submitted a panel, I don't know whether the format was ever closed, or at what point the submissions thing was closed. Yeah, like I say, I'm going to cut people a lot of slack because of the COVID situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not hating.
Oh,
I'm just saying like how I
yes.
felt
I mean,
at
yeah,
the time.
I've been in the same boat at the panels, which other times, specifically 2006, which was the point at which I said, "Oh well, rather than complain, I should start doing some panels and produce the sort of content that I wanted to see." As opposed to just cosplay. That's all it used to be was just cosplay panels because they're the only people with enough enthusiasm to run an event.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and that's where a lot of the waiting is as well. With with the kind of crowd was like like again, not hating. It's just the kind of way that things has kind of shook out. So just need to know again, try and give me a lot more all around experience. Like not just for myself, for anybody who goes to it.
Yeah.
I
want to
will
have
say,
something
I
to
thought
do.
the event schedule was reasonably well set up in that there wasn't too much. So if you liked cosplay, I don't think there was as many times when you'd have to choose between 2 cosplay panels.
Oh,
Do
yeah,
you often keep those usually in the
Yeah.
same room? Like we've probably got some kind of like like workbench table you can kind of lay out stuff and demonstrate.
Yeah,
With it.
so
I think it's the usual talk
yeah.
on
I mean,
that.
like, that makes sense. Like you were saying, like keeping the quizzes to the same room, because like if you love quizzes, you can just not stay in this one room, but like you can practically stay in the room if you
your
want
bigger
to. That kind
problem
of thing.
was
Yeah.
like
Again,
on the Friday, if you wanted a panel-based event, there was only 5. That's more of a problem, and that's definitely things dropping
Right.
out because I got shifted through rooms on
Yeah.
that day.
Yeah.
So you had Making Mythology, which was like a 90-minute RPG related thing, and that was opposite Self-Care for Creators, which I think was all creator thing, but I think it was cosplay person running it. Then
Okay.
opposite Nile, you've got Tojo Clan Handshake event, which was some sort of Yakuza event.
I think it was some
Which
kind of
panel was that opposite?
in my one anime happy
Yes.
hour.
Okay, because I was going to say if it was opposite Hell in the Cell, like I feel like that would be competing like for the same audience a little.
I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
I've seen photos. It's been to be a lot of people in Yakuza cosplay on the stage.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Was some kind of like in character
Yeah.
this meetup, or we basically organized a meetup and got into the schedule.
And then Mass Extravaganza, and then some discos. So then you've got on the Saturday, you've got Trivial Titans, a quiz. The Queer Heroes We Deserve. That's probably one you might have been what you were looking for.
Sure.
Cosplay support group and Grell. So that Grell, Sutcliffe, Stitch, and Bitch. I guess that is two cosplay things opposite each other. Then you got another quiz, and it is in the same. Actually, yeah, I don't know why is theatre really the best place for the quizzes? I don't know how many people showed up for these. The Big Fat Kitacon Quiz of the Year, Time Skip Edition. Diversity in cosplay, which Metal Gear was best? Modding, either make your game pretty or break it. Don't know, but that's 4 different types of panel going on there.
Yeah.
Quiz Smash, Crotch Phase. Those are 2 quizzes opposite each other.
Oh.
Crotch Phase was one of the hentai quizzes. Hell on us.
Oh, yeah. I could see putting those apart from each other because not everyone who's into hentai might be into quizzes, but the people who are into hentai quizzes are definitely catered for.
Japanese literature from Murasaki to Murakami. So yeah,
just the M's.
So that's opposite Nile. Then Your Hero Academia. You've got Hebocon Shitty Robo Sumo, which was I think people make their robots and then drive them at each other, and then one of them falls off the table. That's the best I can tell. It was Fukin Warriors, a murder mystery. I think that was like some sort of cosplay interactive event. i.e. people playing characters and you have to figure out an Amdram thing. And
yeah,
back to Duel. I assume Yu-Gi-Oh?
Yeah, it was I think if you've gone to if watching the cartoon series and it was dubbed, quite familiar with some of the other mechanics there. However, in the intervening years, there have been as many like different mechanics layered on top of that both work and just run headlong into each other. So you might need. Here's how what's happened in between. If you want to get back into it.
The new stuff you need to update.
Which happily as well, from all of that shit is in there. If you want to do something with that, it's in there. But they are still putting out new cards and new archetypes that like one saying, well, if you like doing like the fusion ones, we still have one that's just fusion dudes, there's that none of this like the Link monsters or the XY or the Exceed monsters or something like that, which might be more head melting. If that's what you're into, you could still get a contemporary set of cards that will be able to let you play like that.
Then in the evening, you've got Kitacon Taskmaster. Now, those are the sort of events I don't like. The ones which are just somebody else's format and then shoving the con name or anime in front of it. The Anime Court Big 3 edition, or at least there's ones I would do, to be honest, but Taskmaster feels like so specialized. I don't know why you'd attempt it, except you think you can do it. Maybe it worked. I don't know. I would go for something simpler like Anime Blankety Blank. That seems like a much more easier and achievable format to steal. Anime Court Big 3 edition. I think that was another sort of audience participation thing where people were going to debate which of the anime Big 3 was the best. One Piece. Why would you even bother having the panel? I mean,
but based on 2006 numbers, which one would it be?
Bleach would not even be counted in the Big 3, even in those numbers. I mean, I should have gone and said Gintama. I say take Bleach.
Fucking Kochikama was still running back then. That would have beaten it out.
And something called Big Dumb Hentai Quiz. People listening, do not submit hentai panels. Particularly, also people running cons. If somebody related to your con is already running a hentai panel, don't let anybody else run a hentai panel.
Yeah, you're just competing. You're
Yes,
adding
I would
competition to
say
your thing.
gently
So,
suggest
yeah.
that the same person submit something else. Don't just outright tell them no, but go and say, "Can you think of a different idea
Are you sure?
that's not hentai?"
Mm.
Because I feel like that's kind of I don't know whether that ever happens. That the people running the events go, it's not quite right, but would you like to try something else? I mean, the closest I've come to that, I was like, well, I think I've said if nobody else is running a quiz, I'll run a quiz. Or I've said if you've not got too many quizzes
Yeah.
already, and they said we've got enough quizzes, so that's fine. But
Yeah, that's
one
fair.
time
Yeah.
I've got ideas for quizzes, obviously, because I used to stick them in podcasts all the time. But I'm not desperate
Yeah.
that one of my events has to be a quiz. But eventually, it'll be fun to do well.
Yeah,
then
yeah.
It's just a matter of like a good
Yes.
curation of events, you know. I was getting on with this, like, you know, back in that whole thing about the fun saying if you're running an event, you get some kind of like a discount or a fucking comp bar or something like that.
Yeah.
Because besides of like, you know, it widens the pool then of whom I consider going, well, if I you know, if the reg is if I just gotta get down there and I can sort out my accommodation, you know, but you know, just to get cheaper hotel around the thing or something like that. But if I can just get in like for the weekend, I might consider going down. And I might have an idea for an event I'd like to run.
Yeah.
It just invites more ideas and it lowers that wall right the hell down.
I suspect
And
there's enough. I mean, there's enough events going on, and there's enough new blood at this convention that you're probably going to have. They're probably going to be a lot easier to fill their schedules when they run again.
yeah.
Sure.
Maybe they've
Yes.
seen and like, well, no, well, I could
Maybe
do
they
that
can have
as well.
20
And then
quizzes next.
Welcome to QuizCon 2023.
There was a mass.
Nothing.
It's
but
happened
quizzes.
before at KCON because there was one of my mad extravaganzas. The contest of Torna quizzes. I think that's what was the subtitle for it. So on the Sunday you had MST3 Kitter, the How to Eat, Breathe and Relax quiz. No, I mean I'm never going to mock anybody having obscure panel names because I've done it before. The wrestling one called Nice German. Right, a guide to not maximizing con crunch. AMV showcase.
and again on Sunday we're probably too late.
Yeah, that should have been a Friday one. I think that was a fuck up. All right.
Well, even at any point you'd be getting too late because we're already there. But maybe there's always next year. Always next year.
There's always cosplayers still building their cosplay on Friday night.
Day of, yeah.
Me and John.
I guess you have to reconstruct it on the transport.
Me and John were kept awake by somebody doing soaring in the hotel room next to us one time.
I'm cosplaying as a carpenter.
They were building a fuck-off giant sword in the middle of the night on the Friday night.
I feel like you should have a collapsible into a suitcase giant sword.
Cosplay disasters, the Spuso generation game, big quiz, big data. Doesn't tell me much, but maybe that would have been educational if they would like doing it heavily stat based.
I think it was like Family Fortunes, but
okay,
anyway,
so it should be Generation Games. Generation Games suggests you'd like taking part in activities like. And now there's an expert cosplayer is going to show you how to paint a decal on pleather. Now you have a go. That was the Generation game. Tools you'd be surprised work for cosplay. And so you want to start small business online. Name that tune, our arch enemies, me and Niall. Our terrible time we had it. Name that tune. The super happy fun time hentai panel, 2:00 in the afternoon. I guess this is our third hentai panel at this point. All I have is my phone.
All the Lord today.
Not a quiz though, as far as today. All I have is my phone camera cosplay photography edition. Do you want to start a cult? See con book for full title.
That I did see the comic book for the description of it. From what I can garner, this lady was like some, I'm gonna say, cosplay influencer type person, and it's about I think it was about how to like create and establish your brand.
Oh, to gain a following kind of thing. Yeah.
That sort of
I will say, like, about the different cosplay ones, at least they sound like they're kind of focusing in on different parts of it. which is nice.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
And then you had the last thing was Anime Limited Showcase and the Kitakon feedback panel, where I've always got great feedback, but I've always on my way home at those points in time, so I never go to a feedback panel. I just hope they send me an email asking for feedback later. Or maybe they've learned not to do that at this point. I was very insulted seeing photos of like the when they were the closing ceremony where they were giving people awards, but they gave those people live mics. They never gave me a live mic when they gave me my award. I can't imagine why.
They know
what
better.
you'll do.
They know
They
better.
were worried I
Ryan.
wasn't going to show up in the first place. That was what.
Send out the assault team to bring you in.
I think the last piece of communication I had with them was like the Friday morning or the Thursday evening before the con started with a very angry email I sent them.
Oh dear, you're out of the running. Yeah.
Oh, I think they'd already engraved the thing by then, so
that might have been your man with the saw.
It's not what that's for.
And they weren't coming asking me whether I was going to attend. They were going up to other people. They go, "Do you think Brian's going to come?" Am I that scary? Don't answer that question.
To me, no, but I'm used to it at this stage, so I don't know.
Yeah. And they do the cosplay chest. That's one of their big things. That's not the parties. And
yeah.
Apparently they do something called try out thermoplastics in the cosplay HQ.
Smell it.
Good. Yeah, I didn't smell it as I was going past.
I don't know. It's just like thermoplastic. I imagine just like plastic being melted or soldered in some way. So it's just like, oh, surprised me doing it in a closed room like that.
They were originally planning on showing some anime, some of which I would have liked to have seen, and that mysteriously disappeared from the schedules.
Yeah, there was definitely some upsets with the sound of it.
But it seemed to go fine. I think there was like the last disco. I think they were saying that was running late. I saw on Twitter, but I mean, I was already on the train home at 10:30 in the morning on the Sunday. So, and then about 11 o'clock, I realised I still had my hotel key in my pockets.
They do, yes.
But the reason I knew is because I got an angry email from them saying, "You haven't turned your key in," and I was like, no, I'd already emailed them before that. Then I got that, and I said, no, I just emailed two of your other email addresses beforehand saying I'm on the train, and I've just realised I've got the card in my pocket. And they said, "Oh, don't worry about it. Just chuck it away. We'll just write a new one." I was like, "Yeah, I know you will.
I'll keep it.
Break in next time."
Just like slide it to the door for it and just pick the lock.
So the movie was just like, what's the chip called? Begins with an R. The chips they put in those. That's it.
RFID.
Yeah. I'm sure it's just one of those in a little plastic container. I think they don't seem to get wiped by sticking them next to your phone like they used to.
Yeah, that happened to me one time, and that was quite the anecdote right there. I won't go into it.
Rightio, that's the excitement quote unquote excitement we had at Kitakon. It was nice to get out.
Presence we exerted.
Yes, we probably excited more people than we were excited by it. But hey, I like being on stage and having the attention.
So,
what can I say?
Get it in, man. Oh yes.
Exactly. I mean, where else am I going to force people to watch those stupid videos? That's the
right here. Let's go.
No, because I'll get copyright things. I've already been copyright struck on Facebook with my promo video for Amicon. Randy Newman's after me. And with that, we'll be back next week, Tuesday, hopefully. Which means I've only got a few days to watch a week's worth of anime.
Whoops.
I mean, really, I could have started watching the next lot already, but then my brain would just get confused.
It'd want to do this week when you talk about last week, and it'd be
He's got running on a second monitor right now. He's way ahead of us. It's starting us to win. We gotta
Yeah,
catch him.
Uncle from Another World. I think it was the COVID week, so that's why it wasn't on Netflix this week.
Yeah.
So I think it's back this Wednesday from what I looked at Netflix. One of the
Okay.
few things, I think, along with some other dramas from Korea and Japan, where they do bring them out weekly, which is probably what they should have done with Sandman. But that is a discussion for an entirely different podcast that we don't host. Bye bye for now.
Bye.